Alright, hello. We're back. Starting a little bit late, but that's okay. My name is Andrew, as usual. With me is John.
Hi.
We're going to continue playing the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're on episode 12.
Oh my god,
and
it's
we're
12.
not even on the last case. So, we got... Alright, let's not waste any time. Let's get back into it. So, something exciting was happening. We started it with the trial. Discovered the jury is completely bullshit. Let's see if we can remember what we were doing.
Oh yeah, it was like we just finished interviewing the clearly asleep cop.
The book issue. Okay, yeah. So the cop and his wife said that they saw it happen, but that gave us the information about the books, and we know that the victim has a book from the landlord's apartment, so they're connected somehow. Which
also the maid/wife is
a
juror.
Is on the jury. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay. You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. We are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think. Irinosuke, think. What do you do now? I mean, so it's literally always raise an objection. And I think what it's going to be is that Van Ziek said that we heard from all the witnesses, but he's going to be like, aha, there were more witnesses, because we know that they were in the landlord's room. Like, it's literally never wait and see. I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. Such a cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but I can't think of what to say. Oh my god, I already know the answer.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks.
Shut up, woman!
It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Ooh, boorish. Throwing heat. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene in a moment like this. I think John is...
Oh! Sorry, headphones.
Oh, it's cool. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Like, literally, he was like, how dare a woman speak?
Yeah.
Mr. No!
One of this land's great guiding principles is its tolerance. So
right.
The court will hear you, madam.
Yes. That's what I think of when I think of Great Britain.
Go ahead, Mrs. Otto, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
It's the book. It's the book. I already know it's the book. I'm 100% all in on this being the book.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo? What do you think?
I mean, I clearly know the answer, but I have to make you do it, because it's a video game and the player has to make the choice.
And you're a man, and how dare I actually have thought?
Exactly.
It's just possible that the new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been looking for.
I still feel like Susanoo should have been the main character. Like, she does way more stuff.
Oh my
than
god.
Naruhodo.
I was just thinking, though, they do a really good job, though, of, like, having Ryunosuke, like, feel like an actual, like, if you were suddenly a lawyer, having never studied for law school.
Yeah.
And this is your second day lawyering. Like, it feels plausible.
Yeah. It's true. It's a lot. It makes more sense than it does with, like, Phoenix Wright, who, like, just graduated law school, so, like, should know this shit.
And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mrs. Otto, for that entirely vacant. This is it. Suzato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. Slam. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Yes. I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter.
I already know why it's important.
When I offered you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Nakamoto! I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a validation of the evidence. Which means, you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case? Where has the book hurt you? Wish this fourth book could see.
It's either the fire. Yeah, I guess it's the fire because that shows that when she was there.
Yeah.
Okay, the burn, not the fire.
Got it!
Got it! I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you? Good gracious! It's been burned to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing. What if they open it and it's like a fake book or something? Like no one has thought to open this book the entire time. Like,
I mean, at this point,
like she had to have stolen it for some reason. Like there's gonna be a bookmark in it. That's where the bookmark came from. The bookmark that caused the fight is like she swapped the books, or like the victim swapped the books out or something. That's it. Oh my god. Do we have that card in the court record? We don't have the card in the court record. What's her name? I keep forgetting the victim's name.
Olive Green.
Olive Green. It was like Mary or something in the note. But they also don't really. They're not sure that it's the right woman. Like they don't.
Yeah. It's just described off of what she's wearing.
Well, they found like her ID or something, but it could be stolen or fake, whatever. I don't know. Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh. For I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there's nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charge book hide? charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
It's from the Library of Alexandria.
Exactly. This is a Assassin's Creed, a crossover game.
Oh my god.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Council. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this story tome has suffered?
Its owner. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
It's juror number 4 or 5 or whatever one she was. Oh, I forgot they were literally here. But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hands and she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers. Theft isn't real. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious, how could you possibly?
Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. Bleh. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Literally.
Oh.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
It's gonna be John Garrett. Maybe we could do it, Joe, but I'm pretty sure it's John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, he's only 46?
What?
That is a rough 46, dude.
Well, I mean, his wife does burn him every 3 minutes.
True. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. The landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garrett herself, because we just literally pick names out of a hat, I guess. There's no vetting, checking anything.
No jury pool.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrett's wife. I'm his maid. It would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. All right then. How about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garrett's house? I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. Is this woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
What if they open the book and it literally says, this is the property of Mr. Garrett and his wife, Joan Garrett, who sometimes pretends to be his maid because they're into that. Also, it was stolen.
Role-playing that's gone a little too far.
Also, it was stolen by Olive Green at 4:49 p.m. on this day after burning. We stabbed her in the back. Like, it's this whole confession in the front cover.
It's staged to look like this Japanese man.
Yeah. And then we planted ourselves on the jury. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was on this victim was stabbed on the pavement below. Another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house.
Good Lord! What sort of incident, Counsel?
A fire, my lord. Oh, I guessed it. Hell yeah.
I was gonna say, wow.
I'm the best.
Do I need to restate the flashback?
If you don't want to.
I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Traitor said was happened in the blink of an eye, you know. I can't remember his voice,
Whatever.
so this is
works.
it now.
It works.
The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bolly thing.
It just has to be British and not sound like Sherlock Holmes. That's all it takes. Yeah.
Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bolly furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favourite book called The Lion's Pride.
Oh shit. The Lion's Pride.
By Jove, the very same title that the suspect of the debate.
Oh dear me.
Objection!
I'm caught!
Oh no, I'm going to fucking jail. This is unreasonable. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Gerdeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Gerdeb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so hard to the one you love. Can you, Rolly, as I choke you with your scarf?
Absolutely not, sir. My position would never raise a finger.
Had all my favourite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen.
Oh, back against the window, so did the book just, like, fly through the window and she grabbed it? That's much less interesting. I thought she was going to be in the room with him.
Like Matrix, like slow-mo catch. You know?
Oh, look, a free book.
The man had his back up against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
No, that's pointless.
I think they said also their windows didn't open.
Yeah, and they're clearly not broken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, we're gonna say no, because he's gonna... No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. So he's gonna say the window didn't open. And says no report of the Gerdeb's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Gerdeb household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and not even remotely? Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Wait, did they say that they leave windows open?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be that she was in the room.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm thinking of, it was like an old PSA from the 50s about, like, make sure that when the heat's on, you need to have a window open so you don't suffocate.
I open the window whenever I cook anything on the stovetop so the smoke doesn't set up the smoke detector. Maybe that's what they were doing.
Oh no, it's because like old furnaces would have issues with carbon monoxide.
Oh, nice.
And so, like, before carbon monoxide detectors were a thing, like, you needed to have a window open if you were running the furnace.
So you just don't die.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Gerdeb's wife, the juror?
I think we say no because otherwise, because if that's what happened, then it has no bearing on the case, right? It's just weird.
Yeah.
But we wanted to turn the case around. I don't know who that was. Okay. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster.
Ooh, casual racism.
You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. You are a mean coward. really? Claiming that our little tip set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly! Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake, how could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you, that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. That's like she tried to slap the gun after me. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a mustache. I keep doing the same animation with my finger. And you ran away from the scene, too.
You do declare you're right.
It's true. Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me.
Sorry? What's that?
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks?
Drama.
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been...
What?
Hiya! If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What, no forgive the discourtesy this time?
Ahem! In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Oh, we got voice acting again.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Are we gonna do this?
Thank you for that unanimous, unambiguous response.
It's twice now. It's over. That's what yeah. Miss Usato?
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course! The defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You can still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asked to exercise its right to a summation examination. It's going to be like, no, it can only happen once per day, actually.
It has a cooldown of 24 hours.
You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody.
Unlike you.
I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined.
Next scene, he's going to be like sweating. And
Yeah. Hunched over and crying on the desk. To be continued. All right, well, that was our show.
Oh, nice, cool.
To be continued. We've run out of save slots, so I'm going to have to go erase the old ones. I guess I could just overwrite the old save, whatever.
I considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman.
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
Judicial findings. Fight. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Oh, there we go. That's going to be one lead. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? That's another one that... Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit for trouble.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Have Ash jump up on the table.
No.
We got a table.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exemption, of course.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness's testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Oh, we got a cat.
Well, if their eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabs the woman and how? These 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was, thinking this might be hard.
But you have to do it, otherwise this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel?
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright. Ryunosuke, focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garadev.
That disappeared from the Garadev's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadev and how she reacts. Even to the things other people say.
Oh, man.
Oop, I got a scat on my lap.
Nice, I got Ash on my lap. The defense's rebuttal. Are we just going to press them all again, I think?
Yeah.
Here we go. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, like, what difference does it make? I think there's going to be like a sound effect when she does something.
Yeah.
There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part that I have a problem with. Sorry. Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. By the way, this music is a banger. I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. Way to go.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Such delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. Yay, suffrage.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So I read them in the first place. You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking. Wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
I'm a Republican woman that thinks she's a feminist while hating. As I see it, the overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and racist, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too. If only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you admitted it rational there.
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. No one opens windows. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically say the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh?
Counsel will kindly refrain from childish bickering.
No.
Oh, sorry. I mean, could you say that they opened it for the smoke?
Yeah.
Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. What if it's literally just that the maid was throwing random shit that she grabbed and she threw a knife?
Oh my god.
What if what if that's the whole thing? I thought it was gonna be some like criminal conspiracy, like that the victim was in their apartment doing some shady deal or something, and no, it's literally just the maid just threw random shit and one of them had to be a knife.
That is possible.
Okay, do we have any like anything talking about it in the window?
I don't think so.
Maybe
also,
like
it's like a pocket knife.
yeah. It doesn't have like a military insignia on it or anything, so it doesn't really connect to him. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Alright, she's not going to say anything useful, but here we go.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument
I just thought of something really
might have
bad.
arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett. What?
Vietnam was just the U.S.'s attempt at loving incendiary bombs.
No. Oh, God. Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more. I don't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime. Right, well, we'll see about that. What about jury number 5? Doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Girdup's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. Or clearly abused.
But what if he's like, yeah, I was there, I fixed their window. Like,
oh my god.
Something stupid like that.
He is a handyman.
Yeah. You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What? I told you
already. Yeah, I told you already. I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. Oh man, this accent is all over the place. You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Cool story. Sorry.
It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out.
It's literally going to be that he went up to fix their window and they were yelling at each other the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Helpful. Because, like, he was also like, oh yeah, I was working on that street at the time. Like...
I wonder if this Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by a scarf. Oh god.
Yeah. I don't even go there, Mrs. Otto. What if he's some way to jog his memory about this? Can I present him things? Not yet, but maybe if someone else will open something up. It could be this guy, maybe. I don't know.
Hold it!
Didn't he say that he had a cold?
Yeah. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
Oh god, he's Santa.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Of course not! It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It's a custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. And we opened a window, because that's a reasonable thing to do when your room is full of smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how'd you catch a cold from a fire? Because they opened the window and it was cold. Okay. What a fiasco it was! The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open up all the windows to clear it. Open all the windows. The windows. The windows. The windows. The windows. The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in a hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship all along. Something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason.
Need to who, Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. As well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the juror statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced that they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. Boy, am I glad we're out of that period of history, right?
Oh my
Boy, am I glad that we don't do this anymore.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Or they can just live in their own made-up reality that they refuse to accept.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit! Kill them!
Kill them. Okay.
I think number 4, or number 3 and 6, right?
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. This is a German line now. Winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you see.
Objection!
Objection! These two juror statements clearly contradict one another.
They do? How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh!
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrett household. It literally is going to be that she just threw shit out the window and accidentally killed a woman.
Oh my god.
What is... This is the second case where it was really dumb. Like, the reveal. Oh my god, this can't actually be it. Did I even read the last line? Yeah. Exactly. On the day in question, the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Gerdev household. And Mr. Gerdev had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat! Yeah.
Old lady.
Pursue. What is this animation?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? But Mrs. Garrett. Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply I'm hiding who I really am?
Oh my god.
I'm completely out of the closet. It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is this? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire, as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window. Which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire. Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. Would be terribly bad for the nerve to do otherwise. Of course, I should have realized.
And step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I clean forgotten, but it's true.
Clean, because she's a maid.
So I had to like, don't I like repress them because they have new lines now? Because I wanted her to mention
Do that?
Like maybe she'll say that she threw some other stuff. Let's see if she's different dialogue.
Hold it.
The fourth book, yes, it's different. The fourth book at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. The title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband a copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it. You're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well, you know. This is a healthy way to deal with your emotions as an adult. I really don't. I barely noticed it. I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. Oh, he just remembered whatever his story is. Okay.
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5?
You know something? I've remembered what it was. That member I blocked out.
I killed a man.
Oh, God.
I stabbed this random woman on the street. Oh.
It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding
She's
back.
like 36. Remember that when we saw? Yeah, the people. I want to see how old she is. This granny. 38. Okay.
Oh my God.
She's ancient then. Oh my God. John, we're 30. We're grandfathers. Oh my God.
I mean, we could, but that
we could. Oh God, we actually
would be very difficult and wrong.
Oh God, the other day I had this moment. Like, I was reading a story about somebody who had a kid when they were 17. If I had a kid when I was 17, I would have a 13-year-old child right now.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Holy shit. Oh my God. Anyway. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me it's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
Yes. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny dropped out.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time.
Wait, I'm curious, how old are the main characters? Okay, so I was 16. It's definitely a good age to go off to Britain. You don't have
Ourselves.
Yeah, ourselves on here.
How old's the young couple?
23 and 21.
How old's Olive Green?
Question mark, because we don't know.
Oh.
He's 32, Jesus. I can't believe this guy's only 46. Wait a minute, didn't he say that he hadn't cried since 1869?
Yeah.
That would be like he was
does
3 years old or something.
Born?
Yeah. Oh my God, is that it? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, because I think it takes place in 1905.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
And we spent all that time looking at random history.
That's amazing.
I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did. Oh, about an inch deep.
What is this going to reveal to us? Like, the fact that women can throw knives? Is that it?
Accurately.
Yeah, wives. Yeah, wives and knives. There you go.
Oh,
No words, just terror.
I feel like that would be like the name of a TV, like a TLC or investigation discovery show. Oh, I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the tanks. I was sure I was going to end up face down on the muddy banks at night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? Oh, well, that was something.
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, what I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Dogs, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
Yeah, you just like judo through me like 5 times for no reason. No, I wasn't thinking about that.
Because you'll beat me.
Yeah, please. I wasn't thinking that. Don't hurt me.
Throwing household objects at people as well. It's so uncivilized.
So uncivilized.
At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and everything later, if I dare.
Good.
I actually think that would be like a sick like superhero comic or something. Like Japanese archer girl in Victorian London. I think I would actually read that.
Like fighting crime while while also being like a lawyer assistant.
Yeah. Alright, so we gotta pit this against the her, I think. Is this actually the case? Is it literally just a wife who was angry at her husband, threw a knife at him, missed, and stabbed a different woman? Like, is this really it?
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Objection.
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain counsel at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We demonstrated the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime. It originated in Mr. Gerda's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Gerda household to the street below.
Oh, what's that now?
After all, Mrs. Gerdeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here.
This knife. That's a knife.
you call that a knife? That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up.
Clearly you don't need any.
Yeah. Just make shit up at this point. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Gerdeb household to the scene of the crime was... It's a knife, right?
Yeah.
My armband.
wristband.
Yeah.
Take that!
Juror number 4. Mrs. Gerdeb. What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Ah,
Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing?
I'm stabbing her.
That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man.
My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Gerdeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Gerdeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand?
Huh. Even my missus had got an aim like that.
Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. That's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Aye.
Ah! Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh, Thud.
It's super effective.
Yeah. My lord, I don't know who said this. Oh.
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end right now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman!
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. We did it!
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Dorado.
Susanna, you're going through puberty.
The result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors leaning unchanged. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now, pulling incident. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? Kill them all.
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Okay, is he gonna throw it?
No.
Like I corked wines, the first few sips are bitter enough. Oh, we're wrong.
Damn it.
What follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing. Just save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. That was not Australian, I don't know what that was.
It's fine, it's better than my juror number 5.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. Okay, is this the part where we say that it wasn't actually thrown? All we've done is establish some connection to the landlords? I don't know. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
It's literally the angle.
Yeah, I think we're literally going to get to the angles. It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrett's house to the scene is some, 15 yards?
15 yards? That's 14 meters!
Wow. Very helpful. 14 meters! Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined, even though I've been there. And as your ladies and a gentleman of the jury rightly noted, this is having portentous significance. The 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smothering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards.
Unless she was closer to the house and then hobbled over to the other side of the street.
To land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Well, we're not saying that well, that's not what we're saying. That she was already on the ground and it happened to land in her hand.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying at all. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ah! There's nothing I can say to that.
That loves the sound of his own voice.
Ho ho. Mr. Zato.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he!
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, why don't you just...
No.
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy. But what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garbadet, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! The cross-examination of a juror?
If only someone had seen this coming and done some kind of basic research into these people.
Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Ziegs?
Ugh.
this is like the 10th time he's thrown a bottle of wine or glass.
Yeah. There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimonies the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume that they would be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Roy B. reporting to duty, sir.
Oh, great, these characters again. Well, good morning, officer.
The offer doesn't offer until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on our beat, sir.
Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Are you plugged in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's me, sorry.
Yeah.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, Rowley, my hero! You make me swoon!
Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Oh!
And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir.
Oh, good, he falls back to sleep.
Witness testimony. Constable Beats report.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, The windows on the top floor of the Goddam's house, the top hinged casement.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go to fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Well, I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Didn't he literally fall face first in the snow, asleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't this not his beat? So, like, he wouldn't, like, have all the windows memorized?
Yeah.
Oh, this is quite startling. Top-hinged casement windows.
Which I also don't know how that would mean.
Yeah. Oh, you can't
They
throw
would-
knives out of those. It's not possible. That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with a drowsiness every time, Constable. My Van Zeek's voice has become more and more French today. Just
They're still
drifting
villains.
in that direction, exactly.
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo, in my one encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Alright, I'll try.
So the window opened to allow air to circulate inside the house.
Okay, so you couldn't really throw something 15 yards through that angle.
I mean, if you did it just right.
Yeah, just perfectly like sailed through the. But I'm hoping that this just proves that she was in their apartment.
Yeah. But as the top edge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's the most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening. This is all news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a hook or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it will try it against the pane and fall straight down to the pavement below.
No. Your city problems then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already. That can't be! You see that, Rolly? The young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
My darling, I saw how he crumpled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong! How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
Yeah, I forgot there was even a witness testimony behind all this. My lord. Oh good, another desperate situation. Constable Beats report. Okay, I guess we'll just press everything.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain?
A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. As the noble founding principles of the force written on it, a reminder to us all policemen of our sworn duty, sir.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember, even though in context it was like probably 30 minutes ago.
Patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's the job of all about it. And that's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a boy's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly, sir.
Oh, really? You're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rowley. No, and then this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb?
Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so could you answer the question? It was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my ability, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mr. Garrideb domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yes.
Or very much like you and your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard.
Oh, no.
So I hope you take back some tales of us London bullies and how we uphold our guiding principles.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. Only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my wand card for your pass, per usual. But I might warn you, you won't be able to get it through it without shedding a few tears.
I hope it's just like, walk, punch criminal, hit window. It's like really basic. Thank you, I'll try. Constable Beats warrant card has been it's been entered into the court record. Or what if it's like, this is a toy. It does not confer authority. Like he's not even a real cop or something. Let's see.
I really hope that he's not an actual cop.
Yeah. A small folding wallet that identifies London Bobbies and contains the rules of conduct to which they must adhere. Or if it's like must be alert or something.
Oh yeah.
Alright, let's see. Principles of policing. Item number 1, a policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item 2, a patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat
Okay,
every
just
day
1 second.
for the furtherance of community relations. Alright, something on your back, which you wouldn't hear if you weren't back. I'll read the next one. Metropolitan Police Regulations. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. So, something to do with it being his beat or not being his beat. I think he said earlier it was not his beat.
Sorry.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't say anything quite as funny as we thought, but
Yeah.
This part is probably important because it talks about the jurisdiction of a crime. It's based on the beat of where it's discovered, not who discovers it.
Mm.
So if what they said earlier is true, then he's not responsible for investigating this crime. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, let's see if that comes up. By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So the restriction as to how much they open.
But how does he know that? I guess did it mean that he investigated, which would actually be wrong because it wasn't his beat? I don't know. And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room will simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen.
Yes, directly opposite of the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Would have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before. Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house is furnished with?
Oh, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Here we go. So then she's gonna be like, "Oh, he's following all the rules," and be like, "Nope."
Yep.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Sorry. You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering that. That's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's Beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh yes, that's Street Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's Beat and the next one. Is that right, my love? Constable Beat. Oh my god.
Huh? Yeah, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garrett household yesterday. That house is on my beat, you see, sir.
That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garrett household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garrett's house? Yes, Mom. Pavement on the other side of the road is part of my beat.
Okay, what if they lied about where they found it to get out of doing it? Like, it actually did happen under the door, like under the window. But then he ended up working on it anyway.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or what if, like, so what if, like, when we were investigating one day ago in the story, that was not the day that it had happened.
Yeah, it was like 2 days before.
But he said that he was investigating it yesterday, so he didn't do it that night.
Yeah.
So maybe by moving it, they were able to go to their anniversary dinner by like lying about where the thing happened.
Oh.
Maybe. Let's see. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road. But like this definitely ties into the whole jurisdiction thing in this card.
Yeah.
So something they're gonna have done something wrong. We would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby, after all.
Extraordinary people, our Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Sucks that woman had to die, but you know. Don't you think so, my darling? She's not actually dead, but whatever.
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Take care of it immediately.
The case file's information has been updated in the court record. Location pavement of Briar Road East Side. Is that what got updated?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And now it's my turn, I think.
Hold it!
According to my notes here, the sun had gone down already, and it was dark. Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky, looking for our luckiest star. Sorry? The star that will guide us to eternal happiness. It's actually an alien spaceship that will pick us up and bring us to the afterlife. Can't it guide you to answer the questions?
That's the guiding star, is the flaming book.
Yeah. Oh my god. This can't be. Oh no.
Oh, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
Oh no. And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. That'd probably be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least.
Of course, with that sing-song and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife across the sky before you?
Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starlit, sir.
It certainly seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. Let's see if the previous testimony updated. No.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right? That's right, yes.
He was a straight-looking fellow that liked trench coats and had a big scarf.
If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pop.
Oh, Rolly. Oh, please. So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my brother was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true boy is never really off duty, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report?
That's correct, sir. Had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second.
He says as he falls asleep.
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I could swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? Or they just happened to be burnt as well?
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, the book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? Something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really, I mean, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. Oh shit, we got called out, John.
Oh, man.
We've been cancelled.
Oof.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard!
Oh my god.
My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. Beat, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire.
Yeah, this is great. Just have witnesses just talk about random shit that the lawyer didn't ask them. It's good.
Oh my god.
It's good.
So I went to the store, and I wanted to buy some eggplant, but I didn't have any eggplant.
Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one.
That was a very loud mutter. I heard that! A Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife is... A policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir! I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Okay. Okay, so just added that. This new line. Okay. Is this it? Yeah, okay, this is a new one. Alright.
Hold it!
Mrs. Speed, nobody is questioning what you've told us. Oh, I should actually read her line, I guess. She said, I know what I saw! My eyes never let me down! My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. I saw it, I did! That evening, I saw it clearly! That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene.
It's literally the cat.
Oh my god. Slinking away with whiskers. Oh no. I know what I didn't see as well! I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
Yeah, because they had finished by the time you arrived.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction? Oh, yes! Well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross.
Excuse me.
Constable Beat, is there a problem?
No, sir. No problem, sir.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all, sir.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box for the next beat over from mine.
But if they were already on the border of his beat, why didn't they go to his box?
Well,
I don't know. Whatever.
But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, really? You're such a tease. The reason I was so long because I was cheating on you. I mean, because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. You saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Those don't even sound like real currency.
Yeah. Halfpennies. Yes. How romantic. I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Yes. Well, that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh. What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo, but we're still going to cut to me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. I can't believe that Van Zeke hasn't said anything during this. He's not like, who cares about some flowers? Oh, well. Who cares about some flowers? What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. Wow, that was informative. Same thing, right? Yeah, okay. We are on, like, this extreme sidetrack here.
Hold it!
Like, this has to lead to her, like, telling us that she crossed some street or something that, like, changes the position of the crime or something like that, right? Like, I don't know. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. We ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. Like, we don't have anything that could be a bouquet, right? Like, we don't have any evidence.
Can you check the photos?
I don't see it.
Okay.
It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it first. And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on. Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. So maybe Rolly moved it, maybe the cat moved the bouquet, I don't know. In case you'll need reminding, Mrs. Bates, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice call me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably. That's right, silly me, I got over to the wrong side of the street. So maybe, yeah, did he move it across the road? I don't know. Although I'm gonna blame the bouquet this time, I can't think of how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Is that or the cat moved it? I don't know.
Yes, indeed.
No, I'm really thinking like she died under the window.
Or didn't die, but got hit.
Or got hit,
Yeah.
and then moved.
Uh-huh. Isn't it? But the worst of it, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. A beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, oh, he's gonna produce it. Do you perhaps mean this solitary rose? Oh! Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought for me for our anniversary, with all bits of change he found in the gutter. I've said that like 6 times now. Maybe just call it a rose?
Tell us, Lord Van Zees, where did you come by this flower?
According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Gerdeb household. I think you're right about the victim being moved. In front of the Gerdeb's house. Also, it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Oh, and she wouldn't have run that way, because they keep saying that she ran to the other cop's beat.
Yeah.
And towards the house would be towards his beat. So it doesn't make any sense that the thing would end up there. Yeah. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare. Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh. The anniversary bouquet has been entered into the court record. But it's a symbol of our love. It's shitty and it belongs in the trash. Alright, what are we gonna find here?
An English rose! It's such a beautiful flower!
Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh, Turkey!
Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Stereotypes.
Perhaps you should consider branching out.
Aha!
Putting some that aren't fruit tree based, for example.
Alright, that was informative. Maybe like... Okay, what's gonna be in here? Oh, same thing. What is the clue that we're looking for? There's some reason we have this.
Maybe how it was
Tied.
tied?
Yeah. Enough. It's very stylish paper the flower is wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
Ah! See.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Thank you for sharing. As Susanna said, you do love your cakes. What is the clue? What are we looking for? This is the wrapping again? Yeah. What is the point of this? Is it just that we have it? Like, and we can object to something else and argue about where the body was, I guess? Because I don't see any, like, actual clue in this.
Yeah. I thought maybe it would be like the newspaper date is wrong or something.
Okay. What? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just the paper that's wrapped in and the actual flower. Nothing else, right? I don't... Yeah, okay. Alright, that's the last time I checked that. I want it back after the trial! Do you hear me? I want it back!
Good grief, rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
Okay. So, so if he didn't, maybe it's... Do we present him the bouquet? Because if he didn't take his eye off the crime scene, then what happened to it?
Yeah.
Objection!
The music stopped. We're good. We got it. You claimed, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What? What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that mega bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Meager.
Objection!
Stop being a dick.
Yeah, but if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
No one approached me, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor.
But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet that we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Girdup's book. Mr. Girdup's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife. Would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. Okay, so we're back to the really dumb idea where it's just a complete accident. And the only thing that hit it was the fact that the cop moved the body so he wouldn't be responsible for it.
Yeah.
Wow. It was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Gardeb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
What if the book dropped first, she went over and grabbed it, and like crossed the street again and was killed over there?
Yeah, he could say that, but we know it's the Gardeb's knife, right?
Yeah, I mean it's more convoluted, but like I'm saying, like it could still be the maid, or like Pegasus or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, that character. There was a character there, and they haven't come up ever again. What the fuck?
There's actually two.
Yeah.
I imagine they're going to be central in the next case somehow.
Maybe, or they're just there at the complete red herrings. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my role has done something wrong. Don't you listen to it. Whoa, that's not. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Wittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Oh, good. Mrs. Gardeb's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Gardeb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, meddling.
Mr. Naruto!
Oh, yes. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle yet compelling reason.
Objection!
Now we present the card. Let's explain it. Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend. Who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. We don't even have, like, the Pegasus guy even on our roll, right? So he's not even a suspect. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
Counselor, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
It's Rolly, right? Yeah.
Take that!
Nice.
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. It was the cat! And I would have got away with it, too.
If it wasn't for that cat, you meddling nippity.
Constable Rolly Beat, it was you.
What, a policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? What if she just, like, divorces him immediately? Like, he isn't doing it, and she's like, I want a divorce!
I'm to a lying Bobby!
There's no one straighter than my husband! Nobody works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Bede, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up! It's all nonsense! It's all lies! But the Japanese man with the whiskers! I bet it was him! He did it! If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh.
And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. B, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Well.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. Your claims the crime scene was tampered with? But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime, to hide something. That's right, he's right! My husband and I just happened to be there. That's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Bean had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Have you managed to solve this mystery? into a multiple-choice-like format in which we have to pick the right one.
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer, which is only of 3 days, will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Also, I feel like if he fucks up, a lot of that's really on Britain. Because they're like, oh yeah, you can just become a lawyer now. That's totally cool.
Yeah. Yes, my
Here's
lord.
case.
Yeah. Like no training or anything. Just like, all right, here you go. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? The pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everybody's been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What?
I'm beginning to wonder whether this tumultuous trial will end, counsel.
If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening? What if we could scroll so far in the map we go all the way to, like, to Japan?
Oh my god.
It's just like, oh my god! Right here, I guess.
Take that!
But that's...
On the opposite side of the road? I don't understand! On the evening in question, Mr. Girdeb's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, didn't move at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony that the court has heard. The court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes! It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Search your feelings.
Yeah.
Know it to be true.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road.
Extraordinary!
But the constable overlooked one thing. What? What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume? Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the road bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously.
Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its first position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rowley Beat? just gonna fall over or something. God damn it.
Oh, well, yes, I don't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month, as I've said previously. Do I miss anything? Anything important?
Oh my god, dude! One day in college, I was like sick and I missed a class, and then the next time I was in that class, I asked the professor if I missed anything important, and he looked at me like, "How dare you say that?" And I didn't realize till like a year ago that the way that I asked that implies that like most of the class isn't important. And so that's why he was upset. That was actually correct, by the way, but I didn't mean to roast the dude. Oh my god! So like I like only recently realized. Oh, that's why he was angry. Oh, Rowley, it isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man that I know.
I had a terrible dream that one day little black boys and girls would be able to go to school together. Totally wrong. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed.
Oh my god, this guy sucks.
Only, it seems, it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly!
Because we can only use good gracious like 30 times.
So many times.
Order, order, order. What on earth is the meaning of all this?
No, really, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse it's a criminal offense, isn't it? Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London. Oh, I can't say, sir. What?
We had to present the card to show that he did it so he could have his night.
I really am ever so sorry about this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything.
I have a possible explanation. For why on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman?
Oh, God. And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. Be more discreet with your racism. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence.
So why do we need to? Like, he admitted it to doing it, right? Like, what if we only had like one hit point left and we got it wrong, like, and we lost the whole trial because we just didn't think of this motive for ruining the crime scene?
Oh my god.
At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from, human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions.
What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's thinkable actions?
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. For example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat is all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special how?
On account of this... a bouquet, my lord. I wonder, like, how many different ways I could have presented this. Like, could I have presented the rose, the rules, and, like, his wife? Because they all kind of tie into it. There are some times when you can present more than one thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is nice, because, like, you know, it's, like, a reasonable way to think about it. Oh, yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary! Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife. I'm still looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. Then he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog, collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
What's up? Just on that particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. This Beat put up with all not being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife I much care.
This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says... When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help detectives.
Aha!
Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yeah. You said it's all right.
So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Oh! Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you've done? It was the first time since I became a copper.
Oh my god!
I ever cursed God.
Whoa! We're going there.
God.
Alright. I say God is dead!
Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could be lurking somewhere. As I ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realised where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so... I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covered it. Turn right along Meacham Street and then...
And then?
He's asleep.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Constable!
Oh, I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Oh, Rolly!
Just that one night.
You'll notice that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. So you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care.
You see, I thought... Well, I was sure that the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon.
Oh, of course he did! Otherwise, Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
See your meaning now. But got my back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault! I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. I should have helped you cover up your crime. And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
Huh? 4 was, yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it.
How you found it? What do you mean?
When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book.
I bet like it fell. Oh, it fell, and then she leaned to pick it up.
Yep.
And then I hit her in the back.
Mm-hmm. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in the hat.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting. We're still going? I thought we figured this out by now. The fourth book information has been updated in the court record. So a book entitled Lion's Pride that was in the victim's hand when Mrs. Beat first ran over to see what had happened. So now do we have to just prove that the knife fell out of the window, I guess?
I guess. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you look at it, it had to be the fellow who ran out who'd done it, I thought.
Oh, I just realized we're like 10 minutes over the time. Are you good to keep going until the case is over? Do you want to...
Yeah, I could probably go until like 8:30.
Okay. Because it depends how... Okay, I feel like we're done with the case, but like, who knows how long it's actually going to be.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, we're done with the case. 2 hours later.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the harm, really. I don't think moving at all over the road would make a jot of difference. Oh, I suppose that it's for me now. Oh, I've had it.
My lord.
Yes, Lord Van Zeeks.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Is he going to try to argue that it doesn't change anything? Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Constable, you may withdraw.
Or he's trying to shut him up before he...
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Before he, like, incriminates himself
Yeah.
or others.
Yeah. Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him? Death. For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love. One last thing, Constable.
Your badge. Sir?
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters. However, insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again makes the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime.
Or the Reaper of the Bailey will kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, never again, sir. You mean to stay?
Leave now. This trial is not yet over.
Sir!
Do prosecutors even have, like, firing decision-making over police officers?
I would think not, but
Yeah.
I mean, given how this court system apparently works,
Yeah,
who
it's
knows?
kind of how it works in other games. Like, it's like the prosecutor also leads the investigation, so like I guess they're also police officers. I don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime?
Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Sosaki Natsume, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime. What are you talking about? No! That's what we just proved! No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Do we have to spell this out? Like, I feel like we already did all this.
Forgive me, presumptuous. But I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Nanzeeks, is this true?
Very well. Name the person, if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
You will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime.
It was the prosecutor. Here she is.
Take that!
Nice.
The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord.
Once again?
My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garridev. Me? Oh dearie, me?
Objection!
She already said she threw it out the fucking window.
Yeah.
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garridev, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garridev. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited, and to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top-hinge casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garridev. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back. Have you really never laid eyes on it before? Ah! I don't recall it.
No,
Seriously?
yes.
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there in all that regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4. Oh! I have altered the deal.
Pray, I do not alter it.
Make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process, because we're seriously fucked up here. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out. I don't know what accent this is anymore. I'm completely lost it.
It's still better than my juror number 5.
but that's just a common or garden knife. It couldn't. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? Exactly. What's that?
Are you joking? What are you saying? Please, Mrs. Garrett.
Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it.
Oh, the poor woman.
So yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst. Well...
Whoa, Mr. Naruto.
If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take a stand, Jura. Oh! You're really gonna stretch this out, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Vizix. I'm going to have to testify.
Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not have even been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garrett. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels?
Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. Whoa. Such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real.
Oh yeah, padding out that gameplay.
Yeah, I'm here in the Old Bailey in an actual 3-dimensional environment. You can take different angles on things. It's crazy. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer.
Technically.
Yeah. Basically, by Judge Fiat, I'm a lawyer. A witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garadeb. And I'm, well, I'm a juror and such like. It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore.
The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. I am on my redemption arc now. I am cooperating with the defense. Oh, dearie me! This could be her husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheer up, Tony. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, I didn't know you were here, John, or allowed to just go to the stand.
Wasn't the only time you'd ordered that thing, was it?
She's 38! She's not that old.
I don't think I'd ought to testify, well, don't you?
But what about your knee, dear? The one that I burned so many times.
Don't you worry about that. Hardly noticed it. As long as you don't burn the shit out of me. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face discipline action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you are Mr. John Gurdale? Yes, sir. Former Second Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair shake of action now, living in the quiet life, as it were.
was a quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question?
Well, quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. It's almost like as if we should have some sort of check and balance against this kind of thing. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once.
Witness testimony. The Battle of Kirideb.
Oh my god. Yes, that day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now.
Oh my god, we know what the reason was.
Brought a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if one or two went missing, I'm afraid.
How many knives? There's a couple neat.
As many as it takes.
Yeah.
If that buried thing in the victim's bag really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Ah, yes. A good defense.
Yeah.
Try proving it.
Prove it. You won't. No balls.
It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Also, an entirely one-sided assault, it seems.
The enemy caught us off hop, sir, and had no chance but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept showing for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment.
Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here?
Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife.
In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. But Zeeks may well be right.
Well, what are the chances? We only have the last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
How many times have we said that?
Every time!
Yeah. Yes, I'm afraid so.
Very well, counsel, begin your cross-examination.
I think after like this initial cross-examination, I'll have to call it.
Okay. Do you want to stop now and do this next time? Because like, even if we get it right, then like, there'll be the whole like after court case like log and everything. So let's stop it here. Are you good for Friday?
Yeah, I'm good for Friday.
Okay, so we'll do the rest of this case, and then we'll start some other game because I like this thing we'll be doing where we like go do a different game in between cases. Yeah. So I'll have something picked out.
And I can hang around later on Friday.
Okay.
So,
okay.
In case it's like more than 2 hours.
Yeah. So. And I'll make sure to pick a game that has voice acting, so we don't have to do this. just to give ourselves a break. Yeah. So kind of sucks to cut it here, but you know, real life and stuff.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. So we'll save here. Otherwise, it's just gonna go on forever. Like I keep thinking, like, all right, we're there. We're at the end. Nope. It's been like I thought we were gonna finish this case like at like 45 minutes. I was like, all right, this is good. This is wrapped up. We got it. Nope. They're gonna stretch it out. But yeah,
I don't know if you realize, but this game really likes to rehash things that we've already discussed.
Just a little bit. I've noticed a very subtle theme of that. All right, I'm gonna get off. See you guys on Friday. Goodbye.
Cool. Bye.